Today on Judge Faith. Tension shifts into high gear when a bicycle and a car collide.
I was hurt, but at that time I didn't realize how serious the injuries were.
And they're both pointing the finger at each other.
When I got in the car and I looked, was nobody coming?
Well, it was someone coming, you just didn't see him. Because he hit your car in a matter of seconds, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna need to have surgery.
What kind of surgery?
Arthroscopic surgery on my knee.
Wow, so this is a pretty serious accident.
Yeah.
And later,
What was the damage to your home?
It was over $8,000.
who's behind all of this property damage?
That's the engine to your car?
Yes.
Completely burned. Wow. We have to take responsibility for the damage caused to someone else's property when accidents happen. That's it.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Jeff Moss is seeking $10,000 for injuries and a damaged bicycle after a violent collision with the defendant's car. Defendant Emmanuel Pitts claims that the plaintiff was at fault and is countersuing for $465 in damages to his car.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, we have Moss versus Pitts.
Thank you, Barbara. Jeff Moss?
Yes.
You were suing the defendant Emmanuel Pitts for $10,000.
That's correct.
For the cost of a bicycle, helmet replacement, pain and suffering and court costs?
Correct.
And you were countersuing, sir, for $465 damages to your car?
Yes.
So the two of you were involved in an accident?
Yes.
Right. Okay, where was the accident?
It was on the UCLA campus.
Okay, do you work at UCLA?
Yes.
Okay, and what do you do there?
I do maintenance.
Can you speak up for me?
Maintenance.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Sure. I bike ride every day for exercise. I ride about 200 miles a week.
Okay, good for you.
I use the UCLA campus to get to where I need to go because it's specifically marked for bikes.
Okay.
I was riding through campus, came up to a stop sign, stopped, got on my bike, rode about another 50 feet. Then all of a sudden, Mr. Pitts pulled out of a parking spot. And it's not like he pulled out of a parking spot slowly. It's like he pulled out as if he was making a U-turn. Real sharp turn out of the spot, didn't indicate. I hit his car. Next thing I know, I was holding on for dear life, dropped my bike and almost fell.
Did you flip over his car?
No, I did not. My impact was with his driver's door.
Okay, what were you doing? Were you making a U-turn on the street?
Yeah, I wasn't making it. I was just turning out to get out the parking lot to go the other way.
Okay, and so what happened when you hit his car?
My whole right side hit his car. My bike, front of my bike and the side of the bike took most of the impact. The bike fell. I don't know how, but I landed up on my feet.
Okay.
Once I got myself together, he got out of the car and we started talking. I asked him for his driver's license, insurance information, and he refused to give it to me.
Okay, did you not see him when he was riding his bike down the road?
No.
Okay. Did you look behind you?
Yeah, I looked.
You just didn't see anyone there?
No.
All right, go ahead, what happened? Were you injured or how was the bike damaged?
I was hurt, but at that time I didn't realize how serious the injuries were. I was more, I guess, in shock and the adrenaline was flowing than anything. This is a very specialized type of bicycle.
What kind of bicycle is it?
It's made out of carbon fiber, a very limited production hand-built bicycle.
When did you buy it?
I bought it 2011.
How much did you pay for it then?
About $6,000.
Okay, and so how was it damaged?
So the impact of the car hit mainly the wheels, which were demolished, the crank area, as well as the down tube, and these are called chain stays.
Can I see damages on the bike now or has it been fixed?
It has not, it's not repairable.
Did you call the police?
Yes, I did.
Do you have a police report?
I do.
Let me look at the police sketch of the scene from that day. Can you just walk over to the flat screen and show me which arrow represents you?
Sure. This is me here, vehicle 2.
Okay, so that's you traveling in that direction, and then that car is...
Yeah, and it was more of a
Mr.
turn
Pitts?
more like that
Okay.
than like that.
All right, okay, thank you.
Sure.
Mr. Pitts, were you given a ticket from the police?
No.
Did they find that you were at fault for the accident?
He said yes.
The police did?
Yeah.
Okay, and do you know why?
No.
They said because Mr. Moss had the right of way, and he was traveling down the street, and he had the right of way, and you failed to yield to him traveling down the street on his bicycle, so they found you to be at fault for the accident. Are you aware of that?
No.
You were not aware of that?
Oh, yeah, when he told me, yeah, I was aware of it.
Okay, did you have insurance on your car?
At that time, no, I didn't, because I was about to go get another insurance on my car.
So you were between insurance?
Yeah, I didn't have it then, but I was going to
But
get
you were
it.
on your way to the insurance company to get insurance that day. Is that what you're saying?
Your Honor, may I add something?
The next day I was going, and that's when everything happened.
Right.
Coming up on Judge Faith, someone's cruising for a bruising.
When he hit me and I asked him for his ID and proof of insurance, he did refuse to give it to me.
Did you do that, Mr. Pitts?
No.
You don't sound very convincing with that no.
And later, things heat up.
She wanted a ride, and then all of a sudden she didn't call me to tell me she had a ride to get her car. Her car was already there.
Plaintiff Jeff Moss is suing for injuries and damages to his bicycle after a violent collision with the defendant's car. Defendant Emmanuel Pitts claims that the plaintiff was at fault and is countersuing for damages to his car.
How long were you without car insurance on your car, sir?
2 days.
Just a 2-day lapse?
Yeah.
Just a brief oversight?
Yeah.
Okay. It's 2 days too many, Mr. Pitts. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so why do you think you're not responsible to pay for the damage
Because
onto his bicycle?
When I got in the car and I looked, and I turned it on, then I looked again, was nobody coming, and then I proceeded.
Well, it was someone coming, you just didn't see him.
Well.
Because he hit your car in a matter of seconds, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he was there.
Yeah. Yes.
And the police responded, they found you to be at fault, so why don't you think you owe money for damages?
Because he wasn't, to me, he wasn't hurt. He wasn't, nothing was wrong with him. He hit my car, boom, he got up. I asked him, was he all right? He said, yes.
Are you a medical expert, sir?
No.
Okay. You don't think you owe for damages because you couldn't see the damages with your physical eye? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Your Honor, I would also like to add that when he hit me and I asked him for his ID and proof of insurance, he did refuse to give it to me. Then he disclosed to me he wasn't insured. When the police came, he actually showed the police officer a valid insurance certificate. And after the police left...
Did you do that, Mr. Pitts?
No.
You don't sound very convincing with that no.
Yeah, no.
I have
Okay.
a copy of it, Your Honor.
Oh, you have a copy of his insurance card?
Yes.
How did he get a copy of your insurance card?
Then I gave it to him because the police told me I have to give it to him, so I gave it to him.
But you knew you didn't have insurance.
Yes.
And so you gave him an insurance card, basically
Yes.
inferring that you had insurance coverage when you knew
Yes.
you didn't?
Yes.
It's not going very well for you, Mr. Pitts, today. Just letting you know. All right,
And
go
I
ahead.
asked him after why he lied to the police officer, and he said, well, I didn't want the police to tow my car.
All right. Do you have insurance now on your car, sir?
Yes.
All right. Make sure you keep your car insured. You're countersuing for $465 to damages to your car. Why should I award you any damages when you're driving around uninsured?
Well, I have insurance on my car now.
But that day, back then...
But that day I didn't have it.
Right.
Because I was changed it to another insurance company.
I understand you were between insurance companies. I
Yeah.
got it. Okay. Do you have photos of your injury, sir? How were you injured?
At the time, I thought I broke my ribs.
Is this mark on your face from this bike
No.
accident? You had another accident
That's just
since
my good
then?
looks.
What?
That's just my good looks.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right.
So the injuries that I had, my shoulders and ribs were hurt, but the main injury I have is I have a cracked bone in my knee, and I'm going to need to have surgery.
Okay.
I do have health insurance, and it is covering all of the injury portion of the accident.
Okay.
Actually, my auto insurance covers the injury portion of my accident.
And the auto insurance didn't cover the bicycle?
Because it's considered property. If
right.
I was driving a car, it would have been covered, but it excludes motorcycles, ATVs, bicycles, things like that.
Okay, let me see a photo of your injuries. What are we looking at here?
My left shoulder and my ribs.
Okay.
You mainly see it on my arm, the bruising there.
Okay, next photo. Ouch, that looks like it hurt.
Yeah, that's my arm.
Were you on crutches?
Yeah, I was on crutches for 6 weeks.
Was surgery averted?
No, I'm going to need to have surgery.
What kind of surgery?
Arthroscopic surgery on my knee.
Wow, so this is a pretty serious accident.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I've heard enough. Mr. Pitts, your counterclaim is dismissed, sir, You perhaps had some damage to your car, but I generally don't award damages to people who are in accidents and don't have insurance. Okay?
Okay.
You were driving your car illegally without insurance, and I know you say you were between insurance companies, but I'm happy to hear that you have insurance today, but your counterclaim is dismissed. Two parts to this case. There's liability and there's damages. The police responded. They found you to be liable for the accident, sir, and I credit what I see on the report and the plaintiff's testimony. I do find you to be at fault for this accident and to be responsible. And then there is the issue of damages. The plaintiff fortunately has health insurance, and they are going to cover his out-of-pocket expenses if indeed he has to have surgery. But I am going to order you, sir, to pay him to replace his bicycle. As you know, the statutory maximum in my court is $5,000.
I do, Your Honor.
So I'm going to order you to pay, based on the proof that he has submitted, I find the proof to be sufficient. It's actually probably going to cost him more than $5,000 to replace the bike. So I'm going to order you to pay $5,000. Verdict for the plaintiff. Good luck.
Plaintiff Colleen Clarkin says that her former roommate's car caught fire in her driveway, causing major damage to the house. She is suing for $10,000 in fees and damages. Defendant Lindsay Pojar says that she owes nothing because she was doing the plaintiff a favor at the time of the accident.
Colleen Clarkin, you are suing the defendant, Lindsay Pojar, for $10,000, $5,000 for a home insurance deductible, and $5,000 for fire damages to your home. And you understand that the maximum award in this court is $5,000?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so why don't you tell me what happened? How do you know the defendant, and how did she cause fire damage to your home?
I met her in 2010 at a mutual friend's house, and then I met her again in 2011. And she was in an abusive relationship with someone, and
Can you speak up for me?
I offered for her to move to my house, and it took her till November of 2011 to come to my house with 2 black eyes.
But that has nothing to do with this.
But that's how our friendship was.
So you offered her your home to move into?
Yeah,
And how
to
long
get her
did you
away
know
from
her?
here.
How long did you know her prior to that?
Since 2010 in November.
Okay, did she move in as a tenant or more so as a roommate? Was she paying rent to live
She
there?
paid $200 a month, and she rented the room up next to my room and the washer and dryer.
Okay, do you want to respond to anything she just said?
I did move in, and yes, she did get me out of an abusive relationship, and I thank her for that, but that has nothing to do with this or the damages.
Okay, but the two of you were friends at that time?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, and so what happened after that? How long did you live in her townhome?
Maybe a year, year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Okay, and what happened?
On May 8th, which was Mother's Day of 2011, I called and asked her if she would come and give me a ride to go get my car. And she didn't really give me an answer, yes or no. And before she came to my house, my son had driven, and I drove him back to his dad's, and my car was in my garage. And then all of a sudden, I heard her open the door.
So she wasn't living there at the time?
Yeah, she was.
Okay.
But she was really never there. But she did come that day that I had called her, and she said, "Are you ready?" And I said, "You know what? I got my car back. It's in the garage, Lindsay, and I'm not going to go anywhere." She went into the kitchen, got some grapes, and went to walk out and started jumping up and down. "Colleen, call 911. My car's on fire." And I was like, "What?" And I walked down there, and there were flames coming, and we could hear the fire trucks coming.
So it was a
we
huge fire?
Well, look, we couldn't walk out the front door.
Wow.
Coming up on Judge Faith. Judge Faith sees some compelling evidence.
Okay, what are we looking at here?
That is my garage. The inside, the insulation all melted.
Wow.
Plaintiff Colleen Clarkin is suing her former roommate for damages to her house. Defendant Lindsay Pojar says she's not responsible. She was just doing the plaintiff a favor at the time.
Ma'am, how did your car catch on fire?
I'm not sure. But the reason why I went back to the house because she was calling me and bugging me because her son had her car at prom at the hotel, and she wanted to get her car back from her son. So that's,
Okay.
I was going there to give her a ride.
Well, I
get my
understand
car.
that, but,
To get her car.
your car caught on fire while you were there, so I'm asking
Yes.
you how that happened.
I don't know.
Okay, was it ever investigated? Did the fire department respond?
I don't believe so. The fire department responded, but I don't know if they investigated it.
You said you suffered property damage as a result of that. What happened?
There was a big hole. There's pictures I have of the
Okay, let's see them.
damage.
And did you have insurance on the car?
I had a card saying I had insurance, but
That's not
you
what
pay
I
for
asked
6
you, ma'am. Did you have insurance on the car?
My dad had just canceled it.
Okay, and why would your dad be handling your insurance?
'Cause it was under him.
coverage? Okay. Okay, what are we looking at here?
That is my garage. The inside, the insulation all melted.
Oh, okay, so
And the
this is
fire
from the
truck.
inside out?
Yep,
Was this taken the day of the incident or the next day?
same day.
Okay.
They put the fire out.
Wow. That's the engine to your car?
Yes,
Completely burned.
yes.
So was this an explosion or what?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
There was no smoke driving to her house, and the only reason why I went to the house because she wanted a ride to get her
That's
car.
irrelevant.
And normally I don't even park up towards the garage.
You always parked on the street.
No, I always park towards the back of
Well,
the driveway.
on this day, you parked near the garage.
Because I was running in to tell her I was here to give her a ride.
Okay, ma'am, again, it has no relevance why you were at her home. The fact is you were there and your car caught on fire and her home suffered damage as a result, okay?
Right.
So we're past that now. What is this a photo of?
My car hood.
Okay, what's the next photo? Ma'am, is this the front of your garage?
Yes,
Okay, so what was the damage to your home?
it was over $8,000.
Your Honor, I don't know how it can be $8,000. As you can see, none of the rock is damaged.
Ma'am, are you an expert on garage door damages?
No,
when
but
they
she didn't
suffer
need
fire
she didn't need a new
damage?
garage door, Your Honor.
Okay,
They
do you
did
have any
replace the whole-
independent evidence to support what you're saying? That
I
her
do have
statement for damages
I have a
is inaccurate?
driveway estimate.
That's not what I asked you. Ma'am, may I see your estimate for damages?
I've got what they estimated. They fixed it within 30 days, and it was $8,438.
Did you have insurance to cover this?
I had homeowners, and my homeowners did give me $1,000, but it cost over $4,000. It was $4,786 just for the garage door that I didn't think they were going to replace. They were only talking about the insulation, but once they seen the damage, they replaced the whole garage door, and that cost $4,786.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
Okay, so I see here replacement cost value for the garage door, $4,784.76, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so
And I only got $1,000.
you got $1,000 in the insurance coverage.
Right.
So the rest of that had to be paid out of pocket.
Yep.
Okay, and you had no insurance to cover any of this, correct?
No.
So what is your defense as to why you don't owe her for her out-of-pocket expenses for the garage door?
I was doing
the
her
fact
a
that you came over because she called you?
She wanted a ride. And then all of a sudden, she didn't call me to tell me she had a ride to get her car. Her car was already there. I
Right,
wouldn't have
okay,
even have been
doing
there
a
at the time.
favor for someone because you show up at someone's house to do them a favor
My house, too,
is
I live
not a
there.
defense. Your house, her house, you live there, you drove there like you do every day because you lived in the home, you parked your car in the driveway, and listen, I'm not saying you intentionally blew up your car to damage her home. It was an accident. Accidents happen.
Yes.
But understand that when accidents happen, sometimes we have to take responsibility for the damage caused to someone else's property when accidents happen. That's it.
Yes.
And unfortunately, for whatever reason, you didn't have insurance because your father canceled your insurance policy on your car. You are responsible for the damage that your car caused to the townhome. You have not given me a reason today that would justify you not paying for her out-of-pocket expenses. I'm ruling. We're finished. And so my judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,784.76. That is the value of the replacement for the garage door minus the $1,000 you got in the deductible. Judgment for the plaintiff.
If you or someone you know has a dispute, don't take the law into your own hands. Let Judge Faith rule on it for you. To submit your case, go to judgefaith.com and tell us your story. See you in court.